Good morning, my beautiful people. Come closer to the screen, because sugar, the roof just caved in on the entire California circus. Sit down, take off your shoes, kick the dog off the couch, and let Mama Ola tell you exactly what she saw coming from 3 sunsets away. Because in the last 60 minutes, I repeat, 60 minutes, not 60 days, not 60 hours, Blueface has been snatched up, cuffed up, and hauled off in the back of a cruiser right outside the front door of the house he shares with Jaidyn and the little sorcerer prince they call their baby. Blueface. Arrested. Precious. I could not write this if I stayed up for a week and drank nothing but espresso and holy water. And you know what? I did try to warn you. I said it plain. I called it clean. But nobody listens to Mama Ola until the sirens are already turning the corner and the neighbors are already reaching for their phones. Now, before I get into the meat of this, and precious, the meat is falling clean off the bone tonight. Let me pour myself a little something, adjust my wig, and thank the officer that walked Blueface out that door. Because I saw the footage. I saw the badge. I saw the shoulders. And whoever you are, badge number I am not playing. You are welcome in Mama Ola's living room anytime you're off shift. Huh. I said what I said, and I will say it again. Now let me be serious for 1 second. Because Blueface. Arrested. Outside. His own house. Read that sentence again. Chew it. Swallow it. Because this is not a rumor. This is not a subtweet. This is Blueface, in the flesh, in the cuffs, on the pavement. Let me back up. Rewind the tape by exactly 4 hours. Because 4 hours before those cuffs went on Blueface, Blueface was on a live stream telling the entire internet, and I mean the entire internet, not a corner of it, that he still loves Rockstar. That he was still messing with Rockstar. That he had cheated on his baby mama with Rockstar. For hours. Not 4 weeks. Not 4 days. For hours. And then the Blues Brigade rolls up to his front porch like the mail on a Tuesday. Precious. Do you understand what I am telling you? Every word out of Blueface's mouth was a self-written arrest warrant, and Blueface did not even know he was signing it in real time. He was smiling. He was laughing. He was rattling the little chain around his neck. And the whole time, the wind outside that house was already picking up the whispers that were about to become sirens. And the internet, the mob, the fans, the little clout army with the ring lights and the burner accounts. The internet has one question tonight. One question echoing across every timeline in every time zone. Who called the Blues? Who dialed that number? Who whispered into that receiver? Was it Rockstar herself? Was it Jaidyn? Was it the mother? Was it a shadow nobody has named yet? Sugar, hold that question in your mouth like a mint, because I am going to walk you all the way to the answer, and I promise you on every ancestor watching this stream, you will not see the ending coming. You will not. You cannot. Nobody could. Let's talk about Rockstar for a minute, because Rockstar's little army has already started marching. They are on every platform tonight, singing the same hymn. They are saying Blueface violated his probation. They are saying Blueface was down in Baltimore, where he had no business being. They are saying every step Blueface took outside of California was a step closer to the cage that just closed on him. Now, Sugar, do we actually have footage of Blueface in Baltimore? No. Did we ever? No. But that has not stopped a single fan from typing with 2 thumbs and a lit candle. The narrative has already been poured, and the wax is already hardening. And Rockstar? Rockstar was on that yacht, on that boat, on that little floating stage a week ago, telling the entire world that until Blueface claims that baby, the beef is not simmering. The beef is boiling, spitting oil, and burning holes in the pan. That is what she said, word for word. And Blueface, in his infinite wisdom, decided to answer that boat speech with a livestream confession. Sugar, baby, precious, that is not a strategy. That is not a comeback. That is a slow-motion suicide by microphone, and Blueface pressed the trigger himself. Now, before we go any further, let me remind you what I told you last week. I said it plain. I said it clean. I said Jaidyn is not just a girlfriend. I said that woman has a spell book under the bed and a candle burning in every corner of that house. I told you Jaidyn is not stirring soup. She is stirring something else. And when a pregnant woman starts stirring something else, precious, the energy in that house doubles, triples, quadruples until the walls start sweating. Because she is not one soul in that kitchen anymore. She is 2. And when I saw Jaidyn go on that live stream, sit down in front of that camera, and say, and I quote, "It's outside my hands. I cannot control what he does. Sugar, that was not a girlfriend giving up. That was a sorceress signing a contract." Because when a woman with the sight tells you a thing is outside her hands, what she is really telling you is that a thing has already been handed to somebody else. Somebody with more reach. Somebody with more time. Somebody who works the 9 to 5, the 5 to 9, and the graveyard shift on top of that. And 4 hours later. 4 hours later. The Blues Brigade shows up at Blueface door. Coincidence? Sugar. In Mama Ola's kitchen, there is no such word. That word does not exist in my vocabulary. I do not speak coincidence. I speak cause. I speak consequence. I speak craft. And every consequence in this story has a fingerprint on it, and the fingerprint is not human. Let me repeat that so the algorithm hears me, and the ancestors hear me, and Blueface hears me from that cell. The fingerprint is not human. Now Blueface, bless his little sunburned soul, walks out of that house with his hands behind his back and says, and I want you to listen to this because it is going to become a meme by tomorrow morning and a t-shirt by the weekend. Blueface says, "Can somebody tell me what this is about?" Sugar, precious, beloved, let me tell you what this is about. Because I have been telling you what this is about since last Tuesday. This is about a house-side sorceress with a growing belly and a growing grudge. This is about Rockstar and a confession that lit the fuse. This is about a little sorcerer prince who has seen too much and said not enough. This is about Karlissa, a mother who never taught her boy that the internet keeps every receipt, every clip, every giggle, every whisper. And this is about a man named Blueface who thought his charm was bulletproof and just found out that spiritual bullets do not need permission to fly, do not need aim to hit, and do not need paperwork to convict. And can we talk, for one respectful minute, about how Blueface complained on that porch that his feet were hot? His feet were hot. Sugar, do you know what it means when a man's feet are hot in the middle of California in the cool of the morning? It means his soles are burning from the inside out. It means somebody has been walking Blueface in a bowl of pepper water for 3 nights straight. It means his hands are hot too, and his head is hot too, and every part of Blueface that he has been using to sin is running a fever nobody in that jail infirmary is going to be able to break. That is not weather. That is not exercise. That is work. That is craft. That is a woman who knows what she is doing, going head to head with a man who does not know what has been done. And Blueface, precious, has not read the ingredients on the pot. Now, we have to talk about the little sorcerer prince. And I am going to walk very carefully here, because this is the part where the timeline has been whispering for weeks. There have been clips. There have been moments. There have been strange little glances and stranger little edits. And every time one surfaces, the comment section explodes with the same question in 3 different accents and 4 different languages. I will not put words in mouths tonight. I will not accuse. I will only observe. And I will observe this. If the badges came to Blueface door with paperwork, that paperwork did not appear out of thin air. Somebody typed something. Somebody signed something. Somebody made a phone call that turned into a knock, and a knock that turned into cuffs. And the finger that dialed that number has a story attached to it that is bigger than a probation slip, older than a court date, and heavier than every chain Blueface has ever worn. Some of you in the comments have been asking about the ghost of Ronny Doe. Sugar, I hear you. I have not forgotten. I could not forget if I tried. There is a spirit walking that block that has not been given a proper name, a proper burial, or a proper reckoning. And until it is, the sirens will keep coming for that house. Every year. Every season. Every time somebody laughs a little too loud at Blueface kitchen table. Ronny Doe is not resting, precious. And until somebody tells the truth about that day, that spirit is going to keep collecting rent. And Blueface, sugar, are you paying that rent? Are you the tenant on the top floor? Because if you are, jail may be the safest room Blueface has slept in this year, and possibly the safest room he will sleep in for a while. Concrete walls do not let ghosts pass through easily. And while we are counting sins, let us count the coin. Did Blueface pay Quell? Because Quell was walking around with a chain heavier than his conscience, and every time that chain rattled on camera, the internet asked the same question in unison. Did the money come from the man on the porch tonight? Was there a payment that never got a receipt? Was there a favor traded for a silence? Was there a silence traded for a life? Sugar, I am asking the questions that the badges are going to ask under a fluorescent bulb in the next 48 hours. And when they ask, Blueface, I hope you have your answers folded neat, ironed flat, and rehearsed twice. Because those officers do not care about your platform. They do not care about your streams. They do not care about your chart position. They care about the report on the desk and the signature at the bottom of it. Let me pour a little more of this. Oh, precious, this drink is doing the Lord's work tonight, and the Lord is working overtime. And let me tell you something about the mother in this story, because Karlissa cannot help herself. Karlissa is already on live, rebuking this and rebuking that, calling down heavens on her enemies, tagging pastors that did not agree to be tagged. Sugar, if your rebuke worked, the badges would not have made it to the driveway. If your rebuke had teeth, Blueface would still be sipping juice in the living room. Your rebuke could not stop a soft breeze tonight. Because you never taught that boy the difference between attention and love. You raised a son who confuses a camera lens for a mother's eye. You raised a Blueface who thinks applause is a hug. And now that son is riding in the back of a cruiser wondering why the world he built out of clout just folded in on him like a paper house in a rainstorm and a hurricane on the same afternoon. Now here is the part where Mama Ola gets very serious. Sit down, precious. Because Jaidyn is pregnant. And pregnancy amplifies every spiritual thing a woman is already carrying. Every prayer she whispers gets louder. Every candle she lights burns longer. Every knot she ties holds tighter. Every dream she has walks 2 steps closer to the waking world. And every spirit she is aligned with is now working overtime, because they know there is a new soul on the way and they do not want that soul disturbed. So when Blueface stood on a live stream and said Rockstar's name 3 times like a summoning, Sugar, Blueface did not just insult a girlfriend. Blueface rattled the crib. Blueface kicked the altar. Blueface spat on the ancestors. And ancestors, precious, do not text you back. Ancestors do not send an email. Ancestors do not slide into your DMs. Ancestors answer with sirens, with subpoenas, with sudden bad luck. And Blueface just got the answer. And now Jaidyn's spirits are going to want to be paid. Because they have been working. They have been putting in shifts. They have been holding down the 2nd and 3rd jobs. And spirits, sugar, do not work for free. They eat. They drink. They demand. They send invoices Jaidyn cannot forward to accounting. Jaidyn is going to have to lay something on that altar in the next few weeks. And I hope, I truly hope, on every candle in every corner of my house, that what Jaidyn lays down is not more than she can afford to lose. Because I have seen women take a shortcut with the spirits and then wonder why the baby came out with a shadow on it. I have seen women feed the wrong god and then wonder why the joy left their house permanently, took the dog with it, and never sent a postcard. Jaidyn, if you are watching, and I know somebody in your circle is going to send you this clip on a burner account with a fake profile picture, sugar, do not let them take from the crib. Feed them from your kitchen. Feed them from your garden. Feed them from your gold. Feed them from your closet, your shoe rack, your car keys if you have to. But do not let them touch the crib. And this brings me back to Blueface, sitting in that cruiser, sitting in that holding cell, wondering what happened to the world Blueface thought he owned. Blueface, sugar, this is what happens when you play in 3 faces at once. This is what happens when you confess on Monday and forget by Tuesday and lie by Wednesday. This is what happens when the mother of your child is quiet for too long and you mistake her silence for surrender. Silence, precious, is the language of the working woman. Silence is when the work is being done. Silence is when the candle is burning low. Silence is when the water in the bowl is finally starting to boil. Silence, in Mama Ola's kitchen, is the loudest sound in the room. And Blueface just found out. Blueface just felt it. Blueface just walked into it barefoot. And I hate to say it, sugar. I really do. I hate to laugh at a grown man in a cage. But I think Blueface likes jail. I think Blueface finds a strange kind of comfort in the concrete. Because on the outside, Blueface has to keep the lie moving. On the outside, Blueface has to keep the platform fed, the girlfriends spinning, the mother yelling, the fans arguing, the algorithm hungry, the label calling. But on the inside, sugar, it is quiet. On the inside, the only person Blueface has to lie to is the ceiling. And Blueface, I think, has been running from that ceiling for years. So maybe this is not a punishment. Maybe this is a pause. Maybe this is the universe pulling Blueface off the road before he wrecks something bigger than a car. Something like a child, a career, a reputation, a soul. Maybe this is his ancestors saying, sit down, boy, and think. Sit down, Blueface, and think about who you were before the internet found you. But I am not the judge tonight, precious. I am only the messenger. And the message is this. Everything you saw tonight was already written last week. Everything you are shocked by right now was on the menu 7 days ago, and I served it with a smile. I said it plain. I said it clean. I said the pregnant woman with the spellbook is not to be played with. I said the ghost on the block is not to be ignored. I said the little sorcerer prince has seen things that will one day come out of his mouth in a courtroom, in a therapy session, in a memoir he will one day write and one day sell. I said all of this. And the internet said, Mama Ola, calm down. You are dramatic. You are extra. You are reaching. Sugar. Am I? Am I extra? Or am I early? Because early and extra look identical, precious. The only thing that separates them is time. And time just tapped Blueface on the shoulder. Now let me tell you what happens next. Because this story is not finished. This story is not even at the middle. This story is barely at the appetizer. Because when Jaidyn's spirits collect their payment, we will hear about it. When Rockstar decides whether to press or retreat, we will hear about it. When Karlissa goes on live to rebuke a shadow that already ate her son's future, we will hear about it. When Blueface lawyer walks up to that microphone with the tightest suit and the flattest voice, we will hear about it. And when that little sorcerer prince decides, one afternoon, at 3 years old, at 4, at 5, at any age the spirits choose, to say the one sentence that unravels everything, precious, we will hear about it. And when we do, Mama Ola will be right here, in this chair, with this drink, with this wig, telling you again, I said it plain. I called it clean. Let me pause and pour again. Because sugar, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I need you to understand something about Blueface that nobody in his camp is going to say out loud. Blueface is not a bad man because he was born bad. Blueface is a bad man because nobody in his life ever put a mirror in front of him and said, look at what you are becoming. Look at what you are trading. Look at what you are burning. His mother handed him a camera. His girlfriends handed him a following. His fans handed him permission. And the industry handed him a check big enough to drown a small conscience. So of course Blueface confessed on live. Of course Blueface bragged about the cheating. Of course Blueface laughed at his baby mama on the same day the sirens were being tuned to his frequency. Because Blueface has never, not once, been told no in a way that he actually heard. Until tonight. Until those cuffs. Until that back seat. So subscribe if you have not. Because the sequel to this story is going to drop before the sun sets tomorrow, and precious, you do not want to miss it. I am pulling cards next. I am going to ask the deck directly, who dialed that phone? Who typed Blueface's name into that report? Who set the sirens loose? Who lit the first candle 3 nights ago? Who tied the first knot? Who whispered the first word? And when the deck answers, I will bring the answer back to you unedited, unrehearsed, and unafraid. Because Mama Ola does not soften the truth for anybody. Not for the label. Not for the mother. Not for the girlfriend. Not for Blueface. Not for the man in the cruiser tonight. Not for the woman lighting the candles at home. And not for the little sorcerer prince rocking himself back and forth in a bedroom full of secrets. And drop your theories in the comments before you go. I want to know who you think called. I want to know if you saw the signs the way I saw them. I want to know if you think Jaidyn is a victim, a villain, or something older than either word. I want to know if you think Blueface deserves this, or if you think Blueface has been walking toward this since the day the internet learned his name. Tell me. Tell Mama Ola. Because I read every comment, precious. And the smartest observation of the night is going to get quoted in the next video with your name and lights. And one last thing before I go, precious. Because I know somebody in that house is watching this on a burner phone right now. I know somebody is reading these comments in the dark, with the volume low, with the door half closed. Sugar, if you are the one who dialed the badges tonight, you did not do it alone. Something older than you picked up that phone with you. Something older than the house, older than the block, older than California itself, older than the language you dialed in. And that something is not done. That something is just warming up. That something has not even had its coffee yet. So watch your dreams this week. Watch the shadows in the corner of the nursery. Watch the candle that will not stay lit. Watch the mirror that will not clear. Because the story that started tonight in a driveway did not start in that driveway. It started a long, long time ago, in a room none of us were invited to, with a bargain none of us signed. And it will end, sugar, precious, family, exactly where the spirits decide it will end. Not where Blueface decides. Not where Jaidyn decides. Not where Rockstar decides. Not where the badges decide. Where the spirits decide. And they have not decided yet. Blueface, arrested, outside, his own house. And Mama Ola, sitting in her chair, adjusting her wig, sipping her drink, whispering to the camera the only line that matters tonight. I said it plain. I called it clean. And I will see you in the next one, my darlings, with the cards, with the answer, with the name of whoever picked up that phone, and with the sacrifice list Jaidyn's spirits are drafting in the corner of that living room right now as we speak. Until then, stay blessed, stay watching, stay commenting, stay subscribing, and for the love of every ancestor listening, stay far, far, far away from any house where a pregnant woman is stirring something you cannot see, cannot smell, and cannot name. Good night, my beautiful people. And remember, there is no such thing as coincidence. Only consequence. Only craft. Only Mama Ola. Telling Blueface, telling Jaidyn, telling Rockstar, telling Karlissa, telling every single one of you watching, one more time, so it lands where it needs to land, and where it needs to bruise. I said it plain. I called it clean. And the sirens? The sirens were on time. On time. Down to the second. Down to the syllable. Down to the last whispered word of a spell nobody but Jaidyn will ever fully confess to. See you tomorrow, precious. Bring your candles. Bring your questions. Bring your snacks. Because Mama Ola is not done. Mama Ola is just getting started. And Blueface, Blueface, sugar, wherever you are hearing this from, sleep well. The night is long. The spirits are patient. And Mama Ola is watching.